So where do you have some of your greatest ideas? I mean, where are you? Do you remember? Whenever I attend a conference for entrepreneurs, I'm highly motivated by the speakers, by the motivational speakers, and great stories of success, of how they came up with these groundbreaking ideas that made them money or encouraged their fame. And again, we are encouraged by such motivational speakers to think out of the box. And they say that this is the vital ingredient to success, to innovation, to design thinking, to creativity. It's this out of the box thinking. Maybe even if you're a creative director or a CA, but my question is, how do you think out of the box? I don't need a why we must be creative, but give me the how. And this seems to be a question that once again, no one's asking. Mindfulness gives us the key, which was never really so secret, but it's backed up by neuroscience as to the how. We can unlock the great treasures that are inside our brain, but it requires a bit of practice. So where do you have some of your greatest ideas? Where are you? Maybe it's a time of the day, maybe it's a certain location like a beautiful art park. What do you do to stimulate really good ideas? We can unlock the greatest treasures that are inside our brain. Albert Einstein said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that we use to create those problems. And this is one of the smartest innovators that the world has ever known. And you know what? He's giving us a clue just by saying that. He's giving us a really, really good clue. This is how genius is cultivated. If we can understand that it is possible for us to shift our thinking, then surely this would be an important route for us to explore. Surely. Einstein was surrounded by leading scientists who refused to consider even his outrageous claims around relativity. It took many, many years for him to encourage a deeper exploration of his work due to the fixed mindsets of that time and the biases from the scientific community. Great minds can inspire us to expand our vision, but the work must happen inside each one of us. During work hours, while sitting at our desks, we are in the beta brainwave state, which is associated with alertness, concentration, and cognition. And these are great functions for our day-to-day tasks, but do we generate great ideas while being in such a brain state? So where do you have your greatest ideas? Taking a break and doing an introspective practice like mindfulness, a simple maybe breathing practice, we shift our mind state and brain wave to an alpha state, which is a really nice smooth wave, whereas the beta looks something like this on the EEG. And neuroscience tells us that once we are in the alpha state, innovative ideas start happening, but not so much in the beta state. Usually when we go for a mindful walk, a relaxed bath, or we take a break, ideas may swarm our awareness. And this is because we're enjoying the benefits of the alpha state. And any long-term meditator will tell you that one of the biggest enemies to a focused practice is that they are swarmed with good ideas, which is seen as a distraction in that practice. So one will have to do a sitting practice to find a pen and a paper and write those ideas down so that they can leave you. And now you know what the secret is to innovation. It would be wildly irresponsible to not give it a try. It's like finding a secret treasure and just throwing it into the lake. Let's do a little practice exercise. If you like, you can close your eyes. And we can imagine that our mind is like an ocean during a storm. Thoughts and emotions are like waves. And these waves are being churned up by the winds of agitation and stress. And if we were to dive down into these deep waters, we wouldn't see anything. It would be murky and turbulent. But if we learned to cut off the winds of agitation, to manage our stress, and these waves of emotion and thoughts would settle, and then we could dive down into the depths of our mind and see the most beautiful things, like the ocean, the coral reef, the fish. But if the mind is turbulent and murky, we see nothing. Imagine a clear, beautiful ocean-like mind. And you can open your eyes. Wasn't that nice? There's a wonderful mindfulness guru by the name of Chade Menteng, and he was a Google engineer, and he'd been working at Google for many, many, many years, but he had this fascination for trying to get mindfulness into the organization, and he got his lucky break. One of the other mindfulness gurus that he invited to Google to come give a talk, they couldn't show up, they missed their flight, and Chade Menteng was able to present. He took over, and everybody just absolutely loved him. And Chade Menteng was talking about something called HD resolution of mind, high definition resolution of mind, as opposed to standard definition. And he said that as we practice mindfulness, as we practice calming techniques and so on, all that stress and all that begins to settle, and we can start to see clearly, which makes us productive. Because Eric Schmidt, who's the CEO of Google, said that because of Chade Menteng's workshops, he could really see the link between productivity. In fact, he even equated a percentage, 33% increase in happiness and productivity in Google because of these programs. Isn't that remarkable? And I always carry with me, my son thinks, Dad, why do you carry around these funny little things in your briefcase? But I like to think of this as the mind in a jar. And when the mind is clear, we can see. But when it's turbulent and shaken with stress and overwhelm, it's all fuzzy and busy and glittery, as you can see, very turbulent. But it just takes a moment of pushing pause, of calming down, for everything to settle down. For the mind just to calm down and settle down just like that. Isn't that beautiful? But once again, stress comes and churns us up. And then it's up to us once again to find the space for everything just to settle down. And I love giving these to children in the school environment, because if they're having a temper tantrum and so on, we've done a bit of work with autistic children, actually giving them one of these glitter jars and trying to bring the analogy or equate that what they're going through is the same. And you know what? They transfix. They just look at the glitter and the jar, and they automatically settle down. So it's a wonderful tool that we use. I'm going for a mindful walk just to stimulate some good ideas and creativity. Or you can join us for an actual practice session. Why don't you log on to that now? See you there.